welcome back to the channel. I'm Richard, that was me RB200. That's a Seat Cupra, that's the wall, this is the creators, and yeah, I've just got to the garage. It's afternoon, about 2:30. Been doing things this morning, and yeah, just catching up with what I was up to yesterday. I had a bit of a disaster last night. I don't know whether I filmed it actually. I primed that bumper and it reacted really badly. So just have a wander through here. Look at that, look at that. Lovely. So I only put one coat on it, it just went crazy everywhere. I think it was because I was using a new gun. I did wash it out, but I don't. It must be because I haven't had any other contamination in the building, and it was pretty bad. So, yeah. Anyway, you know, I have an idea. You know, I was on about moss. I think moss is interesting, right? I know this isn't car related, but hey, this isn't actually a car channel, right? So there's loads of moss, little clumps of moss in the back car park. So I thought, if I get this lump of moss and I take it over to Jonathan's. He's got a microscope thing. I don't know how zooming in it can go, but I was on about like stuff that lives on the moss. I don't know, I just want to have a look at it like close up. So we're going to go and have a go with his microscope and check out this moss. Hey Jonathan, you're not having a good time? It's doing your head in, you need a break from that. Yeah, I've had an idea. I was thinking. But did you see on my video the other day I was talking about moss? Moss? Yeah, moss. And how it's fascinating. Yeah. How fascinating it is that like, no, not sterling. How fascinating it is that the creatures that live on like this lump of moss don't know any other world other than that. Like, it's like us on this planet, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they haven't never left that bit of moss. It's their world, right? So like what I was wondering was, you know, how small it is, we can't see it. And then I thought, you've got a microscope thing. Can we have a look at the moss, please?
Too cold for creatures.
Well, have a look in the roots, because I think. But even then, like you're talking like proper microscopic sort of, you know, because the leaves themselves are alive, aren't they? You know what I mean? It's like it's all kind of alive in some sort of way. So like it'd be bacteria and stuff. It's pretty good though, isn't it? Like how much you can zoom in. I bet if you looked for long enough, you'd find something that moves, that's something crawling about. Have a look in the if there were trees, if it was a forest, have a look in the, because you're kind of upside down at the minute, aren't you? How that looks like. You're sort of upside down at the minute.
Alive.
Oh, it is, isn't it? That thing beside it looks alive as well. That.
Oh yeah, that seems like a sluggy type.
It looks like a slug. It is, isn't it?
There's something else there, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I'm down there.
Right, so now looking at the side of it, because that's the underneath side of it.
Sort of side.
That's the underneath. Have a look from the side as if you were looking into the forest.
It's just at the edge of the forest.
Snap it. All right. I suppose, yeah. It's teeming.
Unidentified yucks.
Well, that's pretty cool though, isn't it? That was worth doing, wasn't it? I think. Come on, that's interesting. That's just answered, like, sort of one of my questions, you know. Split it in half and have a look what's... Split it in half and see... have a look, like, right in the middle of it. We now know not to eat moss. It's still like... Let's have a look. What's he printing? What are you printing? There's an egg. Oh yeah, it looks like a chrysalis of something, doesn't it? It looks like a praying mantis. I mean, there'll be predators on there.
Right.
There'll be, you know, stuff that like gets eaten on a regular. It is teeming with those though, isn't it? That's something as well, isn't it? Yeah, that looks sluggy, like, doesn't it? Looks worm or something like that. Another reason why I should get one of these microscope things, and it'd be good for the engraving. But I'm going to be bringing things round for you now to look at. Let's have a look in the tiny world. Right, better get on with work anyway. Bugs. I knew it. I was right. And do you think those bugs that have like left that bit of moss, there was no moss around it for quite a distance. I think they'll have been born there, and I think they've like lived there all their lives. So what we're doing here, first of all, just like to make it clear, this is not for road use. It's got a show plate on it there, it's just a show bike. So, because this would definitely not be, shall we say, road legal. So I wanted to do something with the exhaust. So this was, how much have I chopped off it? I don't know, I've shortened it by quite a bit. This was the can that was on the bag, on the bike. And we've cut it down, cut the internals down, that's the internals of it there. Got these glasses, you see, cushy, safe. So that there is the mounting, where I'm tapping, is the mounting for the rear foot pegs. But it doesn't have a rear seat, so I'm going to use that for the mounting instead of where it was hanging off. I'm going to sit that, I want it at the same angle as this here. Oh yeah, look at that. Well, yeah, it could go, you could go, you know, 20 mil, maybe shorter on there, but he needs room for his foot, yeah, so I don't know, I think that's about right, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that'll slide on a little bit further if you want.
Yeah, oh, that's going to look smart, like. And then out here, come out at the angle of that, so you don't have to go far, and then like a slash cut on the end at the same angle as that. Matches in with the profile. It has got a scrape on it there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so if that one was on the inside, it would be, yeah. So this was the wadding that was inside it. It was already burned, so the whole end was burnt off. Well, it's about half of it, but as it works out, it's enough for the shortened can. And then this is to shorten as well. Gonna look good, that though. So this is where we've got to. Jonathan's welded up the connector here. So that section there's the old bit, and then he's put this bend in into the back of the can there. He's shortened the inside down, and I've just welded it back together again. Then I've wrapped it. That's been my job on this one. And this is still quite hot, but he's just welded that. So now we've got a can that looks like that. I think that looks great. It's meant to be. Several days later, I haven't been recording anything. I just haven't been recording stuff. I've not been doing anything that was really kind of much interest, but this is where we got to with the bike. Just got a bit of polishing to do on this, and it should be finished. Can I do that and start that at the same time? Let's press the button. So yeah, that's just about sorted. There's just a couple of little bits of pieces of polishing I need to give that another going over. I couldn't hold on to it to, you know, when it wasn't on the bike, polish it at the same time. It was just flying about all over the place, so just a little bit of dust that I had there. Give that a scuff over as well. There's a little bit there, a little bit there. Nothing major, just a couple of tiny little bits really. It's not a full flattened polish or anything, so just a bit along that edge. So yeah, that's where that's at. You might actually be coming to get it this weekend, but I haven't got the brake reservoir sorted because I ordered one, but it hasn't arrived. So that's still to finish off. And with the car, you guys, Paul is called, come and have a look at the RB. I think he's coming up from Essex. So it's up in the air at the minute. I've had the under tray off, and I've now adjusted the bracket, so we're now got a perfect fit there, and got it a lot better here, but I had to take that, hang on a minute, camera, there. So you see we've got a bit of dust going on here, because I've moved the bonnet right the way back, so we're fitting loads better now in here. This gap's better. I'm gonna have to move this a touch, because it's slightly out of, it needs to, that now needs to go forward about 3 mil or something. So I have tried bending that peg back, but it doesn't like it. Works, but I'm not happy with it. So I've got these corners to finish off. As you can see, I've been having a bit grind at them, and I've done the other side as well. They just need tidied up. I want to put some white on there because I blacked that, but it's actually causing a visual misalignment on there. So if, you know, in an ideal world, it could probably do with a little bit of filler just to get those perfectly lined up. But you know, this was everything straight out the mould there. Like, I haven't done any body work on this, so it hasn't had any filler. The shape it is the shape that came out of the mould, which you know, I'm happy with, but there is slight imperfections in it, and I think for me, sod the gel coat finish. I don't care about the gel coat finish. I don't mind painting it. I would rather have it perfectly straight, and there's just slight undulations that I worked so hard to get out have reappeared slightly in the final product. Like, even, you know, when you look across the bonnet, just see, can you see like that bit there where that moves? That's just a slight undulation. So I probably gonna get in and block that, because the whole idea was I was gonna repaint this anyway. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be in the realms of, you could get away with gel coat finish if you didn't mind that sort of surface, but anyway. So that's what I've been doing. I'm messing on with these corners. I've got the front under tray to put back on. It will be slightly, the holes will line up slightly differently now because the bumpers now moved back. This corner has all moved back slightly. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing anyway. There's not been a lot going on, just bits and pieces and messing on with that bike and the wiring and whatnot. So yeah, that's why I've not been filming. I made that bumper, you've seen that. That reacted badly. I still need to deal with that. So that's all guide coated up. But while this was in bits, I've tried that bumper on it and it fits lovely. Those little those bits there that I put on it, the little lugs are perfect. So yeah, I'm gonna get the under tray back on this and get it down off there and then give it a bit clean up. This thing, God man, no wonder that these things have got an engine cover on them. Like, how ugly. Like, there's shit just everywhere. So in between stuff, I've been coming over here and pulling a few bits off and disconnecting stuff, but I'm gonna take the whole front of it off just to get at it easier. But this sort of stuff, mechanical stuff, is not my bag at all. So I've not really been getting into that. Colin had been asking, how long is it going to take you to do the engine swap? I don't know. Like, it's longer than expected, I would say. But still need to get the mounts and stuff, so not in any major panic. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. It's quite sunny outside today, but it has been absolutely freezing. So nice day today though, even though it's still Baltic. So anyway, under tray on, get it back down, give it a wash, and it's ready for tomorrow to be inspected. Well, it's not. I need to, like, I'll do a bit more. I'll tidy those up. Because it's white gel coat underneath, that's the same code as that. I can just tidy that up and polish that, and it'll just sand it and reshape it, and it shall look fine. It's not as if we're going to have raw fiberglass or anything poking out of it. So yeah, anyway, better get on. I was at Tommy Graham's that sell screws and nuts and bolts and whatnot, and I seen that and I was like, hang on a minute, that brush is literally twice the width of that brush, which technically means I can sweep the garage in half the time. Yeah, because I've done a brush video the other day, you've seen a little time lapse of us sweeping the garage. It takes about an hour to sweep the whole thing, about 50 minutes or something, so that'll speed things up. Right, under tray, here we go. Oh, so Coombs was saying, he says, have you recorded out lately then? He says, we need to make another video. I says, I haven't. He says, well, you better get something recorded. And this morning, I've been ranting and raving and whinging on about bloody Jaguar. And he says, Gannon, have a moan about Jaguar. He says, but don't say stuff that is mean that I'm gonna have to edit loads of it out. But have you seen what Jaguar's done? Obviously, I drive a Jag. I don't want to drive a Jag no more. Like the advert that they've put out and the image branding shite that they've just come up with, not a chance. I'm gonna debadge it. The badges are coming off, including the flipping front one. So I'm not being part of that shite. Don't want nothing to do with it. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if they gone bankrupt. They deserve to go bankrupt. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and check it out. They've just about broke the internet. Flipping idiots. They've absolutely ruined their own company. One of the dumbest marketing moves I've ever seen in my life. There's a saying, go woke, go broke, isn't there? Well, they have went full on woke. I think they don't understand who the customers are or what sort of people. Majority of Jaguar's customers are not the Rainbow Brigade. Even the whole Rainbow thing pisses us off. Like, you don't own the Rainbow. The Rainbow's everybody's. Then we've got our absolute tosspot of a Prime Minister giving Ukraine flipping long-range missiles to flipping shoot into Russia. As if that's not going to backfire on us. He's trying to start World War III. I mean, I don't know about any of you lot, but I'm not happy about my tax money getting spent starting wars. That's not what it's for. I'm sure there's some sort of law that, or, you know, something that states if you're not happy with how they're spending the tax money that you voluntarily give them, then you don't have to give me. And if there isn't, well, should be. That's not too bad. I don't think I've said anything that Coombs needs to edit out anyway. But you get what I'm saying. You get my point. Ugh. So the bonnet is fitting way better than it ever has. I've still got a slight alignment problem where it meets the side skirt. The issues that I'm dealing with this, when the car was getting built, the front end was never quite fitted right fully with the catches, and it was just sort of sat on really, yeah. And when we actually came to make the parts and do the proper build, that was kind of a rush job because we had that show coming up. So I didn't get to do all the kind of finer detail things that you would normally do at that point. So that's why it's not right now, because really I should have spent a lot more time with the final put together. But also there's definitely some adjustments need done in the front of the side skirts. Can't see that until your bonnet's in position properly. Right the way through this whole project I've had problems with the bonnet alignment until we worked out what was going on, and there's still things that I want to change with it, but we'll get there with it. See, I want that to go in a bit. Now, what I could do is put a locator to actually hold that in, and that would sort that right out. Still a little bit of a twist that I want to sort out, but getting the alignment of that there, I need to take a little bit off the back there. But it's getting closer and closer all the time. It's just little tweaks. But attempting to do this and get a gel coat finish and get everything perfect on the first fit, it's just not happening. So obviously I've painted this anyway, but I think that although the panels could be, you know, done with a perfect gel coat finish, perfectly shiny, I think that there's work that you need to do that might scupper that whole thing anyway, because there's tweaks. Do you know what I mean? It's a kit at the end of the day. It's fiberglass at the end of the day. It's not gonna be perfect, you know, 100% perfect. You out of the mold, you've got to make some changes, and if that's gonna affect your gel coat finish, then tough shit, you know. Because I've moved the bonnet back, what's happening at the minute is the door is now catching on the inner edge of the bonnet, because we've essentially reduced the door gap quite a bit. And yes, I should have a dust mask on, but I'm sick of not being able to see out. Yesterday, I seen an advert pop up for laser eye surgery, so I clicked on it, put your details in it and that, and of course within like 30 seconds someone's on the phone, the salesperson's on the phone and that, and they said, because I'm at age, because I'm 50, yeah, because I'm at age, I'm not eligible for laser eye surgery, and they're on about doing like a lens replacement, and it's permanent and you don't have to get it done again. And I says, well, what does that entail? And they said, well, you cut your eyeball open and they howk out the natural lens and they stick a synthetic lens in. Like, that doesn't sound too pleasant. Are you asleep for that or what? I don't fancy that. It's like $2,000 an eye. They said something like that, a couple of grand an eye. Which, to be fair, I think's worth it. I don't know, it's maybe something I'll look at doing soon, because I'm sick of the situation where, like, I put a dust mask on and obviously I instantly steam up. With doing all this, I really need to be able to wear a dust mask, and I really need to be able to see. If I can't see, then essentially I can't really do the job, can I? Some things you know, you can kind of guesstimate it a bit, but right, I think I'll probably take it round to Jonathan's to give it a bit wash, get rid of all this dust, because I need him to rewire my headlights as well. With removing the bonnet, there was 2 wires that he'd put on which didn't have a connector on. It just like straight wired them in, but taking the bonnet off, I've had to cut them, so I'll get him to rewire that. That's it back together, washed. I'll give it a polish tomorrow. Lights rewired. Those lights are honestly absolutely brilliant. They're like laser beams. So I'll have to tidy up the living room, make sure I've got a couple of clean cups and that. Still got this to sort out. That needs to go in now. I'm gonna put a retainer in there, something to hold it in. And it'll save twatting my skull in. This side's not so bad. That side's pretty good. About a slight tweak in there, that's fine. But again, it could probably still do with some sort of locator. But the other side's sticking out too far. One thing that'll help sort it, if I leave that up overnight on the bonnet prop, it actually like flexes in a little bit, so it will tighten up. But because I've adjusted this, when I pull that down, it pushes that out. So like when I need to raise that up as well, so that it's not kicking that out. So there's a couple of bits and pieces I can do still, but it's just fine tuning. I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, that's where we've got to today. So today I've got Paul coming up. He's driving all the way up from Essex, so it's like a 6-hour drive. He's coming to... He says he wants to meet me and wants to have a look at the car. So, fingers crossed he wants to buy a kit. But right at the start, he was up for it. He was like, yeah, I want one. And he even went as far as to buy an MR2. But, well, he bought it in the summer. And what happened was, he sort of fell in love with the car. And the convertible experience, you know, driving around with your roof off, your roof down, and catching the rays and that. Now he was like, "Oh, it's great. I haven't had the roof up." He says it's been fantastic, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, you must be freezing. But then, you know, he's down there, and we're up here in Cumbria. The climate is totally different. Round here, like a convertible's almost pointless. You'd have about maybe a week, maybe 2 if you were lucky, in a year where you might be able to enjoy that roof down experience, but certainly not up here. Not a lot of point in having a convertible. So, but anyway, he's coming all the way from Essex to have a look at the car, and hopefully he's going to want to buy a kit. Now, he's also said he doesn't want to build it himself, he wants me to build it for him. To be honest, that's how I'd prefer it, especially with the earlier ones, you know, just to make sure that it's going out right and that it gets done. But more that it's going out right, really. I want to, you know, there's still going to be a few little issues that are probably going to need ironed out. It'd be nice if I can do it and just make sure it's all tickety-boo. So yeah, he's about 3 hours away. It's a 6-hour drive. He's about 3 hours away at the minute. Spoke to him this morning. He was sat in a service station. What did he call it? He said, I'm having a comfort break. I think that must be a term that he uses like at work. Maybe it's like a work term. I don't know, I've never heard anybody call a piss break a comfort break, but that's a new one on me. But anyway, when he phoned, when I messaged him this morning, he was about 3 hours away. So now I would have done this last night. When I washed it, the pressure washer was pissing out the back of the handle, and I got absolutely drenched. I certainly wasn't very comfortable. So I thought, sod it, I'm going home. I'll come back out in the morning and do this. Because obviously the car's been sat about in the garage and it was all dusty, and I'd been grinding at the edges of the bonnet and stuff, so it had to be washed. Can't have him coming in and seeing a totally dusty car. When a car's dusty like that and you wash it, it obviously leaves like watermarks everywhere and just doesn't look good, does it? So I figured if we get out here this morning, stick a quick lick of polish over it, and then he isn't greeted with a dusty mess. It's frosty outside, but the sun's up. Looks like it's going to be quite a nice day. But if Paul doesn't want to go for it, I totally understand. Like I say, he's fell in love with the roof down experience, and he's got a totally different climate down there, so totally get it. But it's nice that he's interested enough to want to come up and have a better look of it and that, so all is good either way, but may as well have it looking best I can. Obviously I wish it was on the bloody road, and then I wouldn't have to bring him out here to see it. He could just come to my shop in the town and see it, but that's it on, and I'm ready for taking it off. It's nice polish, this. It's not too intense, not too hard. It's body shop polish as well, because you can't really use like normal wax. It is called wax. It's Freckler G3 wax, but it's not like a wax like the normal, like what you would normally wax a car with, because if you used that stuff in here, you'd have reactions like I had on that bonnet, on the bumper, on everything. the air would be completely contaminated. Give that a little bit longer to dry. Might even put the heater on. Put the heater on for 5. One of the problems with having the vents in the back windows, I think it's something that I would maybe do away with on the next one. Just because it gets water on the inside of the window. And I'll go around the car in the direction that I went. I went roof, bonnet, roof, back, and then up the sides. It's just a quick clean, but you can spend ages cleaning cars, can't you? Polishing, and it's just a quick going over. May as well do the bumper while I'm here, even though I've done that last. Not a lot of it. Gee, took my hat off because I was my head was getting cold and boiling again. There's steam coming off my head. Now the outside of the window's clean, you can see how shitty the inside of the window is. Especially with the sun coming in at that angle. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how, you know, with like running a relatively normal engine, I don't know how critical, how much heat build-up is in the back, because obviously that was there. The turbo on an RS200 would have sat around that area, but further down, and obviously that was there to vent what would be quite a lot of heat coming out the back of the car. And there's multiple vents. There's 5 vents on the back of the car, so I don't know how necessary, you know, on a day-to-day road car, having that vent would be. I don't think you'd really need it in the window. So, I mean, it adds to the look of the car. At the same time, it's a little bit impractical from the point of view of rain getting in the window and on your engine and stuff like that. And when you wash it, obviously. And so I think for me, I think I'd do away with that in the future. Right, that's me. Gonna head back to town, sort myself out. He's meeting us there, and then we're gonna come out here and have a look at the car. So I think we'll call that a video. Thanks for watching, subscribing, pressing buttons, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. Fingers crossed, might have sold the kit by then. See you later.